What metrics actually matter for small business owners? Right now, your e-commerce dashboard is showing you dozens of numbers. Your social media app has reach, impressions, saves, shares. Google Analytics is tracking bounce rates, session duration, page views. Your email tool wants to tell you your open rate. And most small business owners look at all of that and feel more confused than before they looked. Here's what nobody tells you. Most of that data doesn't matter. And tracking the wrong things doesn't just waste your time, it leads to decisions that cost you real money. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the metrics that actually matter for a small business, and the ones you can safely ignore. I'll give you a framework at the end that takes 30 minutes a month and tells you almost everything you need to know about whether your business is healthy.
Let's start with a concept you need to understand first. There's a term in data called a vanity metric. It's a number that looks impressive but doesn't tell you whether your business is actually healthy or growing. The clearest example? Social media followers. A business with 50,000 Instagram followers sounds successful, but if those followers never buy anything, never visit your website, and mostly followed you because of one viral post 2 years ago, that number is meaningless for business purposes. It feels good, it doesn't pay rent. Now contrast that with conversion rate, the percentage of people who visit your store and actually buy something. If 1,000 people visit and 20 purchase, your conversion rate is 2%. That number tells you something real. It tells you whether your website is working, whether your pricing is right, whether your product descriptions are convincing people to position them. The rule is simple. A useful metric connects directly to a business outcome: revenue, profit, customer growth, efficiency. If it doesn't link to one of those things, it probably doesn't deserve your attention.
So what should you actually be tracking? There are 5 core metrics that apply to almost every small business. Let's go through them one by one. Revenue, the total money coming in from sales. Review it weekly. Compare it to the same period last year. Not knowing your weekly revenue number is like driving without looking at the road. It's your baseline for everything else. Gross margin. Revenue is what you make. Profit is what you keep. The difference matters enormously, and a lot of small businesses focus so hard on revenue that they miss the fact their margins are quietly eroding. The calculation is revenue minus your cost of goods divided by revenue times 100. So if you sell something for £40 and it costs you £16 to buy or make, your gross margin is 60%. That sounds healthy, but if your operating costs are eating 55% of revenue, your actual profit is only 5%. Knowing your margin is what lets you make sensible pricing and stock decisions.
Customer acquisition cost. How much does it cost you, on average, to win one new customer? Take your total marketing spend and divide it by the number of new customers you got that period. If you spent £400 on ads last month and gained 20 new customers, your CAC is £20. Good or bad depends on what those customers are worth. If each customer spends £50 and your gross margin is 60%, each one generates $30 in gross profit, so your marketing is profitable. If they spend $15, it isn't. Most small businesses spend money on marketing without ever checking if it's generating a return. This metric makes that visible. Repeat customer rate. Acquiring a new customer costs significantly more than keeping an existing one. A business where customers come back is fundamentally more profitable than one where every month starts from zero. Ask yourself, what percentage of customers made a second purchase within 6 months? Which products bring people back? Even a rough answer to these questions helps you keep the customers you've already worked to win. Conversion rate. For any business with an online presence, this is one of the most actionable numbers you can have. What percentage of visitors to your website actually contact you or make a purchase? A low conversion rate tells you something specific is wrong. Pricing, confusing navigation, poor product photos, lack of trust signals. It gives you something concrete to fix, rather than just a vague sense that things aren't working.
Let me give you 2 examples of what happens when you track the wrong things. A clothing brand spends £600 a month on Instagram influencer campaigns because their follower count is growing. But when they actually track purchase conversions from that channel, they find 2 to 3 sales a month. That's a cost per customer of over £200 for a $45 product. The money would have worked better in Google Shopping ads, but they only discovered this when they measured the right metric. Second example, a local services business is proud of their 5-star reviews, but their website converts less than 0.5% of visitors. Great reputation, weak revenue. They were tracking trust metrics while ignoring conversion metrics and leaving money on the table every single day. So what can you safely deprioritize? Follower count without engagement data. Page views without knowing if visitors are doing anything. Email open rate in isolation. People opening your email is a starting point, not a result. And reach spikes from viral posts. They almost never translate to lasting customer relationships.
The pattern. Any metric that shows activity without showing outcomes is probably noise. Activity that doesn't convert to revenue or customers isn't a business result. It's just a number. Here's the simple framework I'd recommend. 7 metrics, reviewed weekly or monthly. 30 minutes a month. That's it. Total revenue, reviewed weekly. Baseline health check. Gross margin percent, reviewed monthly. Are you actually profitable? New customers, reviewed monthly. Is the business growing? Repeat customer rate, reviewed monthly. Are you keeping customers? Best-selling product, reviewed monthly. Where to focus investment? Conversion rate, reviewed monthly. Is your website working? Customer acquisition cost, reviewed monthly. Is marketing paying off? 5 to 7 metrics, tracked consistently, will tell you more about the health of your business than hours of scrolling through social analytics. Before I close, 4 mistakes I see constantly. Tracking too many things. 20 metrics reviewed inconsistently is worse than 5 reviewed every week. Ignoring profit. Revenue growth with shrinking margins is not progress. It's a slow leak that can eventually sink the business. Making decisions from 1 week of data. 1 bad week doesn't mean your strategy is wrong. Look for trends over 4 to 8 weeks. And the most self-defeating mistake, having the data, having access to it, and never actually looking at it. Put a 30-minute monthly review in your calendar and make it non-negotiable. The businesses that grow most effectively aren't always the ones with the best product or the biggest marketing budget. They're often the ones making better decisions because they're paying attention to what the evidence is actually telling them. You don't need to be a data expert. You need to track a small number of the right things, review them regularly, and let what you find change what you do. Revenue, margin, conversion, retention, customer acquisition cost. 5 numbers, reviewed consistently. That's enough to make smarter decisions than most of your competitors, starting this week. If this was useful, subscribe. I post practical guides for small business owners every week. And if you want to go deeper on any of these metrics, the next video walks through how to set up a simple tracking spreadsheet from scratch. See you there.